So today I have this very distinguished panel that come from different industries and walks of life to share their experiences in how these 6 natural characteristics have played a part in their life. So what I'd like to do before we get started is to give you a brief introduction, and their expanded bios, of course, are in your programs. To my left, Eric Yopes, Chief Strategy Officer at Pepsi Beverages Company. In his role, he is focused on accelerating the company's growth across North America by identifying local market opportunities and diversifying the company's brand portfolio. He's also responsible for PBC's Learning Labs program, which is designed to provide access to promising brands in emerging beverage categories that offer high growth potential. Eric, thanks for joining us. Dr. Placida Gallegos is an organization development consultant who has spent the past 30 years engaged in supporting diverse individuals, groups, and organizations in thriving and achieving optimal outcomes. Her work spans a wide range, including corporations, nonprofits, educational institutions, and government agencies. As a researcher, she has emphasized organizational high-performance leadership development, cultural assessment, and strategic change initiatives. Placida, thank you. Herman Rodriguez. Herman is Director of New Business Development for Aetna Student Health, a business unit of Aetna dedicated to providing student health insurance for colleges and universities throughout the country. Herman manages a team of sales executives and new business pipeline to increase annual revenue and new membership growth for Aetna's health and dental plans. Herman, thank you. Armando Arsadosa is president of the Access Agency, a multicultural and marketing partner. CMG's multicultural and marketing partner. Armando leads our team that provides clients best insights into U.S. multicultural markets. Armando is an expert at integrated marketing, and his campaigns are defined by innovation and creative thinking. Armando, thank you so much for joining us. Ana Valdez currently serves as Executive Director of the Hispanic Association on Corporate Responsibility, a coalition of some of the largest and most influential national Hispanic organizations in the U.S. Ana comes to ASER with nearly 20 years of corporate experience, a track record of engagement, achievement, and success with numerous nonprofits, grassroots, and community-based organizations. Thank you very much. So we spent some time on the phone to discuss these natural characteristics that we've shared throughout the morning and serve as the theme for our breakout and plenary sessions throughout the day. And I've asked them to, and again, I've always said my moderating style is formal but yet freelance. You know, one of the things that we find in the workplace is sometimes things are too structured, right? And in the Hispanic community, it's so important that we hear from leaders in a non-structured way. Just let them tell it as it is, raw. And wouldn't you agree that that's the best way we start trusting them and it starts helping us? Great. So, there's some questions that I've prepared. They don't know which one, none of them know who I'm going to ask. To be very reality-based here. So one of the questions was, well, by definition of the 6 natural characteristics, which of these characteristics resonate with you most and why? Please share a specific workplace example and how this characteristic has helped shape your leadership style. I'm going to throw that at Herman. Herman Rodriguez. No. See, no, you can't do that. We won't trust you. Well, first of all, Herman, why don't you tell them a little bit about why you're here?
Can everyone hear me? Okay, great. The reason I'm here is actually, I work for Aetna, and the company allowed me to participate at CHL Leadership Training. And I actually attended in June, and I'll be following on to the second session here in September. Once I leave California, we're on to New York for the second session. I think I've attended many conferences, trainings, and I was also a participant in working with training programs as a corporate manager of training. And I think there was not one single training that actually spoke to me specifically as a Latino, as a Hispanic person. And when I attended Glenn's, I recall leaving there and feeling awakened by the curriculum, by Glenn, and by the discussions that we had in the group. And I think the 6 characteristics that we'll talk about today, I can relate to all of them, but I think the one that speaks to me most is general purpose. I'm one of 7 brothers, so I grew up in a large family, like most Hispanic families. So from a very early age, I had to learn how to share and how to support one another, because that was expected of us. And that was something that we were taught, that it starts within the familia. It starts there first. And in order for you to share and really demonstrate that you understand sharing, you have to do that among your own. And once you've demonstrated that you've accomplished that, then you can continue to spread the sharing with others. So in my career today as Director of New Business, I have a team of account executives. And it's my job to make sure that the team collaborates, works together, shares, empowers each other. And this is where my roots help me to bring that together, and it comes very natural for me to be able to do that. There's not a textbook that I have to read or anything specific, because that's something that comes to me natural, because that's something that I was born with in my family and learned at a very early age.
Thank you very much, Herman. Now, Wesley, I know you have one that you'd like to share.
Good morning. Can you hear me? I guess what comes to me, and certainly as I think about, again, I agree totally with all of the various characteristics that you've mentioned, but from family, again, coming from a family of 8, and then they adopted 2 more, and I know that's kind of a medium-sized family, because my grandma had 16 kids, 8 girls and 8 boys, no twins. And so coming from those big families, I think one of the things was learning to, find out who you are in the midst of all that. You have to differentiate yourself in some ways and find out what is it that I'm about. And so my family includes, a medical doctor, a construction worker, we have several strippers in the family, a judge, a lawyer, so it just runs so we have a very diverse family. Yeah, we need the judge and lawyer for the strippers. So I think, growing up in families like this, and I'm sure they're very much like your family, we grow up with diversity. We grow up, and whether it's culturally, we have all different races and, groups represented, so our families are very diverse. So we learn how to work in a collaborative environment. And so I think one of the things I learned early on was that, how to collaborate. But in the workplace, in an organization where I also do a lot of collaboration, at one point I was receiving a performance evaluation. And in the process, they said, you've done great, you've exceeded all your numbers, you're outstanding in all the ways that really matter. And so you pass and exceed. But we do think that you may be collaborating a little too much. You should do more to differentiate yourself individually so that you stand out instead of the people that you're working with. And so I received that feedback, and I was not happy about it, because they said, what's the problem? You passed the evaluation. And I said, no, it's not okay. And so I raised the issue, I challenged the process, I challenged them, I raised it